So when I was like 14, my buddy Brendan was like, "Hey man, do you want to go get some weed?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go get some fucking weed." And next thing I know, I don't know how we got here, but next thing I know, we're in Russian's car. Brendan's riding shotgun, I'm riding bitch in the back, right? And we're going to go to Sheets, where Brendan's plug wants to meet, which was across town. We didn't want to have to walk, so we hitched a ride from Russian. Russian was this really weird kid from school who he liked to dress in these like really cheap suits and wear sunglasses and drove a Crown Vic, and everyone fucking called him Russian because he liked to pretend he was Russian and speaking the worst Russian accent you've ever fucking heard, right? Like it sounded like 1980s movie villain type Russian accent. He was like, "Oh yes, I am Russian, Vaskalovich." I don't know if that's a Russian word or not, but no, that's the type of shit he would say. He would just make shit up on the fly, pretending to be Russian. He sounded like if FBS Russia stopped trying in one of his videos to sound Russian. This is what the guy sounded like. But Russian was a couple years older than us. He was a few grades up, which meant that he was like 16 or 17, which meant that he had a car. So we're getting a ride from him, which is a problem because Brendan's plug is expecting Brendan to show up. Not some guy wearing a suit and sunglasses and a Crown Vic with two children in the car. That's not what he's expecting. So of course he wigs out and pulls a fucking gun on him. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? Why are you dressed like that? Like, are you a fucking narc? Like, who are you? Are you a fucking cop?" And of course Russian's making it worse, putting in his stupid fake accent, not talking like a normal person. He's like, "What? No, I am no narc. I am Russian. I am Russian. See, I am no narc. I'm no narc. I just want weed." And which makes him sound even more like a narc because he's putting on a fake fucking accent pretending to be someone else. It's so much worse. And the guy fucking his plug ends up asking him like, "Why you dress like that?" And fucking Brendan chimes in. He's like, "It's because he thinks he's fancy." And fucking Russia looks at Brendan and is just like, "I am fancy." And Brendan's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Russian." So Russian finally shuts up, and Brendan talks his plug down. He's like, "Look, he's not an narc. He's not a cop. He's just a fucking weirdo that we go to school with that we got a ride from. I promise you, he's not a narc." So Brendan talks his fucking plug down finally, and gets like buys weed from the guy, and we go and smoke. I don't remember what happens after that, but I do know for a fact I never hung out with Russian again. I know, like I avoided that fucking dude. He was just a fucking weirdo. And I guess there's no moral of the story. I guess just don't go buy drugs with weird people that freak others out. Don't do that. Don't go buy drugs with the weird kid from class. That is a horrible decision.